So President Donald Trump has himself a Republican primary challenger. I, for one, find this hilarious. Let's take a look at him on Morning Joe.
Today we need Bill Weld more than ever because America deserves better.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
I don't know what I said. I don't remember. And Mexico will pay for the wall.
I moved on her like a
You also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
I love WikiLeaks.
I know nothing about WikiLeaks.
America has a choice. New Hampshire, 2019. A better America starts here.
It's official. President Trump has a primary challenger. Yesterday, former two-term Massachusetts Governor William Weld officially announced that he will enter the race for the 2020 Republican presidential nomination. Weld is the first Republican to declare a bid to deny Trump a second term, but it's not the first time he's faced Trump on the national stage. Weld ran for vice president on the 2016 Libertarian Party ticket, headed by Gary Johnson. And William Weld joins us now from New Hampshire, which will hold the first primary of the 2020 nomination contest. Good to have you on the show this morning.
Governor, thanks so much for being with us. Obviously, you're engaged in a long shot campaign, but we, of course, all remember back in 91 when George H.W. Bush was in the high 80s and Bill Clinton decided to step into the race. So anything is possible, but still you're facing long odds. How do you break through to Republicans that they deserve better and that you're the candidate that can deliver to them the leadership they need?
Well, I think it's one voter at a time, and I think it's good for the country to have somebody put the president to his proofs, as it were. Maybe ask him some why questions, like why do you think it's good to insult our military allies? Why do you praise dictators? Is it because you wish the United States was more dictatorial? I'm afraid that might be the case. Why are you so angry about everything all the time? As was said earlier, everyone is fearful of the president's wrath. Bob Woodward's book was called Fear, and I think that seems to be the president's strategy. I've said that I think this is a case of the emperor's new clothes, and somebody had to raise their hand and say the emperor does have new clothes. So, you know, a year is a long time in politics, and if you look at history, the New Hampshire primary has gone up and down, and the polls have gone up and down. So, I'm going to camp out up here as well as other parts of the country and make the case, and I think the case is very much there to be made.
Dude, this is the biggest waste of time of a campaign I've ever seen. Trump has over a 90% approval rating in the Republican Party. Where are you going to go, dog? Where are you going to go? They have this delusion in among like elite Washington D.C. Republicans, like in the elite establishment corporate circles. They have this delusion of like, us regular Republicans are better than this. We're more classy. We're the real serious people. Our party's been hijacked by a mean man. But once we expose him for what he is, good sir, we'll be allowed back in power. No, you won't. Nobody's into you, man. Because what defines a guy like Bill Weld? Decorum politics. Civility politics, wagging his finger at people over shit like mean tweets while he turns around and does all of the same shitty policies that Donald Trump does. That's why I can't stand these guys, because they think they're so much better than Donald Trump, but they agree with him on virtually everything, and they just want to do those same fucked up policies with like a smug smile on their face and a bunch of self-aggrandizing bullshit in their mind. And it's so obnoxious. It's like when Jeb Bush said in the interview with CNN, like, no, I actually agree with Trump on all of his policies. He's got to be a leader to lead this country. Like, you got to calm the country down in times of crisis. So in other words, I don't like the mean tweets and the unhinged stuff, but I love all the policy stuff. In the same interview, Bill Weld goes on to say, I agree with the president's tax cuts. So how about you step the fuck aside, Ville, dog? Because maybe people should get an actual choice. But to be fair, nobody's going to beat Donald Trump. Even if, like, you know, somebody who's like a libertarian Republican ran, like Rand Paul or something, he would get obliterated by Trump. They would all get obliterated by Trump. He is the Republicans' id. He is exactly what they want because, listen, he agrees with them, and he's a king troll, and he's a fighter. And that's all they care about. That's all they care about. That's it. So, king troll, fighter, over 90% approval rating, and you think you're going to bring your, like, civility politics back into the fray? Nobody liked that, by the way. That's, like, this is the ultimate establishment delusion, is that we were all down with, like, I'm a serious person because I speak like a politician shit. Like, nobody cares. Nobody thought, oh, isn't it so wonderful that while these assholes, like, screw the country and loot the treasury, they're all being all kind to each other and whatnot? No, we never thought that. So look at the stuff he laid out in his ad. The first thing he brings up is how the McCain thing, where he said, I like people who weren't captured, okay? So he brings up the McCain thing as if the entire country is like, we must protect John McCain's honor. No, that's only in Washington, D.C. You know, everybody else is like, next, let's move on here. Then he highlights how Trump is classless. He grabbed him by the pussy tape they ran. That broke just before the election, and he didn't lose. So why do you think, like, I'll just go back to this well and it'll work? And then they showed how he contradicted himself on WikiLeaks, as if that's going to make people go, like, I'm not voting for this guy. Look at that. Oh, it's almost as if the president is an idiot and a hypocrite. Yeah. It was pretty obvious a long time ago, and they still voted for him. And then the thing I can't stand the most is the we're better than this America bullshit. It's like, no, what if we aren't? Like, don't get me wrong. We are better than the policies that these guys are pushing on us because we very clearly do not want these policies, and it's reflected in every poll. So we are better than the policies, but are we better than the fucking childish reality TV level, you know, fighting? Not at all. That, in fact, that is uniquely American, you can make the argument. Like, that is what we're all about, dog. The shitty fucking feuding and petty disagreements, and, like, that's us to our core. And I like how, like, the fact that he thinks this is, like, something he should lead with in his campaign. Like, why does Donald Trump praise dictators and dislike our allies? As opposed to, what, Barack Obama, when he, you know, was buddy-buddy with Israel and buddy-buddy with Saudi Arabia. Which, by the way, Trump is too! Trump is too! Like, George W. Bush supported dictators, Obama supported dictators, and Trump supported dictators. They all support dictators. Trump put it on steroids, but yeah, they all support dictators. This idea that, like, before Trump, our presidents were against dictators. For decades, we've supported 73% of the world's dictatorships. So you're living in, like, fantasy land of, like, American exceptionalism and American mythology. You're not in reality, and you can't defeat Trump with this, like, head-up-your-ass, rah-rah America garbage when he goes out there and his whole thing is make America great again. So, like, he's already got the Americana faux patriotism shit locked up. And your whole thing is just, why do you praise dictators and dislike our allies? Dislike our allies? What do you... I mean, why? Because he said some mean words to Justin Trudeau? Shut the fuck up. He's friends with Israel. He's friends with Saudi Arabia. He bolsters them all the time. Now, it'd be interesting if you ran against that, oh, I think we should sever our ties with Saudi Arabia. Well, goddamn, then you're really interesting. You'd still lose in a Republican primary, but at least I'd be interested by you. You're just a banal fucking nothing. Like, his whole campaign is, I will run and be just like Trump, but pretend to believe in civility and decorum. Now vote for me. Nobody's going to vote for you, because I got news for you, especially the Republican base. One of the things they love about Trump is that he doesn't believe in the decorum and civility nonsense, and he rips the mask off. He says, yeah, this is what I am. Say something. Yeah, I said it. I think Mexicans are criminals and rapists. Yeah, I said it. I want to do a total and complete shutdown of Muslims coming into this country. Yeah, I said it. Well, you think the base secretly disagrees with that? No, they agree with that. So this idea of, if I just go out there and I'm a nicer Trump, then I'll win, you're going to get destroyed. The over-under I'm putting for Bill Weld is at 4%, and I'm taking the under. How about you? 4% is the number, and I'm taking the under.